Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Prairie Banana. You can tell by my name. I'm over here on Pulse Chain, home of pTGC and UFO, which are the two index tokens. They give you access to the best assets on the chain and pay you passively. We're going to do a spaces. We do this every Saturday. So I'm getting it pulled up on my phone, and I play it on my phone, and I set it right here on this. It's a trash can turned upside down. And and you guys can make comments in the comment box if you want. Ask your questions. We're going to be talking about these assets. And so let me just get this pulled up. We had the founder on and a bunch of community members. It's a hoot. I mean, it's always well worth being here. Anon, it's good to see you, man. Manitowoc Shesh, good day. Good day, everybody. Saturday spaces are my favorite. Now, if I can find, it'll be in my profile because I just posted it, and he's already live. I gotta find it. Profile because I just posted it. No, I'm not playing myself. Let me do a search. No, I'm going to search my posts. Just bear with me, guys. Gen X are here. Gen X are in the house. Pulse TGC. There he is. There it is. Yeah, I can tell by it's live. Cool. 5 people in there already. Join the spaces. I'm cool with it being recorded, except to speak. All right. Everybody good? Is my audio good? Hey, Charles. Good to see you. Good morning, Walter. Good morning.
What's up, everyone? How are you?
I'm just getting set up here. I turned the volume up. Some people are piling in on YouTube. I put this spaces out. The only thing different is I posted it on my X. Like I literally posted it. Because normally I don't, because I'm pretty sure X does that when I go live. So yeah, I'm just looking at my X to see how that works.
Yeah, I don't think it posts it when you go live. I think if someone scrolls past it, it shows it live. So maybe
okay. Let me look at that since we're talking about it. Yeah, I'm live. Yeah, as soon as I I posted about it. I'm looking at it. I posted about it, and then it pops up live. So it does show live as soon as I go live. It shows it on X. That way I don't have to post it. But this morning I thought I'll just post it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to just get it back to the top of people's feed, because if you posted it a while ago, the post might show live now, but maybe it's not recent. You know what I mean? So maybe it's not populating for people. But who knows? A lot of times I'll see posts that are 12 hours old or 1 day old, you know.
Right. Okay, I got to ask Charles. Charles, is the audio good now? Can you hear Zen better? Let me know. Hi, Kurt. Crypto Spikes, good to see you. There's a lot of people on YouTube, actually. This is great. 9 people. 9 guys. Yeah. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Cool.
Drink my coffee. Now doing this. We'll see if it's a busy one or a slow one. Crypto feels a little slow right now, but I do think some people are excited about the inflation cut. I'm excited for it just because I like seeing that the machine is still moving, you know, that there's still moving parts. To me, it makes me feel like it's still on. You know, Richard's still doing stuff in the background, or his team's still doing stuff in the background. If it's the send price lower or if it's the send price higher, we'll see, but at least it's some movement.
Yeah. Yep. Royalty said posting again before you go live is great. The notifications pop up right away. So thanks for saying something. I'll aim to do that. Yeah. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to drop a video in the Jumbotron, which is my pinned post. Guys, if you're curious about pTGC and UFO, click on that video. It's a 4-minute plug for pTGC and UFO, and it'll be in the Jumbotron here in just a minute. It's my pinned post. You guys can always find it at the top of my Twitter. And while we're at it, be sure to vote on plsfolio.com, by the way, guys. Every day. Twice. You can do it twice a day. Okay, that should be in the Jumbotron now. Yeah. What other kind of advertisements do we need to do, Zen?
I definitely would like to remind everyone to just keep engaging with posts. It'll help the algorithm. It'll help people on PulseChain see our posts and our videos, specifically yours, because you're putting a lot of time into those videos. And the only way those videos are going to see new people is if our community engages with them, right? If our community doesn't start that engagement, the algorithm isn't going to push those to new people. So when Banana makes those videos, if we could like, comment, share, retweet, whatever you need to do, even on YouTube, go to the likes and like them on YouTube. So maybe it pushes it over there. If you could do both, that would be awesome. I know it's kind of hard to do both because like maybe you watch it on Twitter, so then you don't need to go watch it on YouTube, right? I think that's my only like kind of issue with putting it on multiple platforms, is then someone doesn't have to go to a specific platform to watch it, which kind of dilutes the engagement on one specific YouTube or Twitter, or if it's on anywhere else.
Sure.
But if you can hit both spots, do it, because we want to get these videos and these posts in front of new people, and the easiest way to get it in front of new people is by getting engagement up. The higher we get engagement, the more new people it will see. Yeah.
Thanks for saying something. Like, for example, my understanding is on YouTube, like YouTube, when I post a video, or anybody posts a video, YouTube is going to put that video in front of the current audience first. Then depending on how they reply or respond or engage in that video with likes and comments and such, then YouTube will look for other people that are kind of in the same category to push that video to, but it starts with the current audience. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same way for other platforms. And I have been posting on some other platforms too. But I put this on X earlier this week. This is a post. I'll just go ahead and read it. I wasn't planning on doing this, but here he goes. X actually rewards us. It rewards us for using it the way it was meant to be, like a social media platform. It wants us to be social on there, like making comments and talking, chatting back and forth. I'll admit, be the first to admit, that's the difficult part about X and making comments and all that stuff. It's a place to be social and have real conversations. If you want to help push good content like pTGC videos to more people, here's what actually moves the algorithm. Thoughtful comments are extremely powerful and worth, and I got this from AI. A thoughtful comment is worth 100 likes. So liking, if that's the minimum you could do it. But if you can put in a comment, you will 100x your effect on that, on whatever. I think this is for X. So this is X in particular. Repost with a comment are 20x a simple like. Repost with a comment. Replying quickly to comments on your own post. So if I post something and somebody comments, I need to reply quickly. I've been trying to do that. And they say that's a huge multiplier. Watching the full video, like something on X, if you guys will watch, I mean, I'm not just me, guys, but anybody posting about pTGC or even PulseChain stuff, watch their videos all the way through. It makes a big impact. clicking the profile like afterwards. And I know you guys aren't going to do that because you're already, you know, our profiles, but that's 12x the likes. Bookmarking works. That's 12x the likes. And then the first 30 to 60 minutes after a post are the most critical. So like whenever you've been dropping your X posts into Telegram, I always try to make a point to open it up right away, make a comment, because time is of the essence. And to say same thing, I've heard the same thing on X, like that engagement in the first 30 minutes is very important. And it's like an acid test for X, whether they're going to get that post in front of more people. So, I mean, it's unfortunate or unfortunate. The algorithm can work for us. Actually, it works for us, but we have to work with it. We just have to have a little willingness or education, I guess, of how to work with the algorithm. Zen, you still there?
Yeah, sorry, I was mute because I was going through my Twitter because I wanted to look if, where I had a bunch of comments, if I was getting more views on those posts. Because I didn't know that, that the comment in the comments meant so much. And I had a specific post that kind of was like an open-ended question. And surprisingly, like a lot of people commented on it more than normal, like to where it caught my eye. So I went back to it and looked. And I had like 5 times the amount of views on that post than like a standard post I do. So in the comments on that specific one weren't just like basic replies. It was actually people more like asking questions, and they had more genuine responses instead of like a quick GIF or a quick, emoji or something like that. So I 100% agree. Much, but interesting to know that for sure.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's the hard part, is coming up with a response to a post, a thoughtful response. One way you can do it, guys, and I've done this maybe once. You can like if you're at your computer, you can screenshot the post, paste it into Grok or ChatGPT and say, give me a thoughtful response from this post. I've done that at least once. I think I've done it a number of times, actually.
One response I get all the time that's kind of, I wouldn't even say funny, because it does make sense. Their train of thought currently where we are on Pulse Chain, they're always saying, could you imagine this product on another blockchain? It would be doing so good. Or I wish this product was on another blockchain. Right. But every time I see that comment, it sparks something in me to be like, yes, I get it, right? Yeah. We're 6x lower than when we launched on this chain. Like if we were just at the price that Pulse Chain was when this launched, like we just knowing that there'd be users here and value here, we'd be rocking, or even better, right? If price was back to stack price, which is 2x pretty much the price that we launched at, like obviously all that stuff would be awesome. But I still am like on the, I'm still on the side of like Pulse Chain offers this opportunity that just isn't on other blockchains, where we can actually be pushed in the top crypto or of cryptocurrencies with just a slight uptick on this chain. Now we're so low, it's more than just a slight uptick. It's, some crazy high levels, but like just with Pulse Chain back to some of its all-time high levels, it can be knocking on the door of the top 50 of cryptocurrencies. And I think a lot of that's due to the suppression, right? Like rough seas make good sailors. And I feel like we've been in such rough seas that we've been suppressed so much where we've been grinding harder than most communities out there. And when we do get that turnaround, it's all going to pay off.
Yeah. I think about that from time to time. Rough seas don't make good sailors, or rough seas make good sailors. Smooth seas don't. Yeah. And we're definitely having some rough seas. So, man, when we get off these seas and we hit port, woohoo, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, Zen, I wanted to talk really quickly about the ratio against pulse chain. 2 months ago, we were talking about the power of shifting that ratio as far north against the gas token as possible. And I think back then we were still at like a 7-to-1 or an 8-to-1 or something like this. And the reality of what that means going into another bull run. And I think I went to bed last night and it was like almost 17-to-1. The system is, I'm starting to see that people are starting to realize that the Gray's currency, and I'm talking about even myself and people who've been here for a while. The thing is the smart contracts are a mathematical machine, and there's nothing that's stopping the thing. Even the L1 going 6x lower. Prairie talks about this all the time. But the second that we make a move in an uptick in a reversal, it's going to be like this. And people are going to be looking at the Gray's currency from all over the place because we're properly ranked in certain places. And we're going to bump up in the ranks so fast because of that. That's marketing. You want to talk about marketing?
Yeah.
The market is being ranked 200, 150, 100, 99, 70 in crypto because we're so light. You know, right now, Pulse Chain is so light in terms of its liquidity, but pTGC is even lighter. And this is what you're talking about. But I'm seeing that people are starting to realize that there's real math behind this thing. And my God, dude, we're at a 17-to-1 now against Pulse compared to where we were just 2.5 months ago. And what that means for reversal is just astronomical, man, in my opinion. And I don't think that people understand those dynamics, those mechanics enough, to be honest. The opportunity is just, there's no opportunity in crypto like this. Now you can get lucky and hit a runner or something, but for a fundamentally sound project, there's nothing coiled up, ready to explode like this project. And I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen over the next 6 months, because I think that we're going to bottom. We're going to front run an October bottom. And I think that there's only between now and then, and anything that allows us to oscillate in this $30 million market cap range, and being able to get these tokens off the market is just like a gift, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think there's something to really highlight on, you know, where we are in ratio against Pulse and where Pulse in the market is right now too. Because in the past, every time we're at those higher ranges, like our all-time highs or like 19-to-1, like we've hit before, these were when Pulse Chain and Ethereum were actually like very much trended upward already, right? Because when PLS is up or when ETH is up, it's actually easier for us to increase our ratio because this is a sign of value flowing into the blockchain. Well, if value is flowing into the blockchain, that means new money and new users, right? These are the best times for this. This is the easiest time for us to increase our ratio. Every time we're at these all-time highs in the past is at higher levels of ETH and also PLS. And then usually when they come down is when value starts leaving blockchain. But what's unique about this time is ETH is under $2,000. PLS is hitting all-time lows, but we're still finding a way as a community to increase our ratio against the blockchain, even though there's more money leaving than ever, less money here than ever, which is something to pay attention to. So when we do, like you said, when we do finally get that current working with us instead of against us, I agree with you. I think pTGC and UFO are going to make some revolutionary moves that are not going to just get the attention of Pulse Chain, but start getting the attention of just the broader crypto market because of how quickly we can start moving up, in that we are ranked a little bit higher than most tokens. Like, we're not getting lost in, the tokens that are 1 million market cap range. We're at the 30 mil, so we're going to be going into 100 million, start making our way up those ranks. And people pay attention to what tokens are just climbing and climbing and climbing, and with just where we are ratio wise, where we are with Pulse Chain so low. Like, we've never experienced a 10x on Pulse Chain before. A 10x on Pulse Chain just gets us to the highs that we were like a year and a couple months ago, right? Like, levels that we've easily been before, levels that aren't even sacrifice price. We can see some of the biggest push-ups of Pulse Chain we've ever seen. And we're, as a community, in so much better of a spot than we were 1.5 years ago.
There was a comment made in the Telegram by a very serious investor, and you know who he is. I won't give his name, but he said, imagine pTGC if the layer one did something. pTGC would be worldwide news. And I wrote back on that comment, and I know that sounds kind of funny, but I said, I said, crazy thing is that this statement is actually true. May not be worldwide news, but it would definitely make some massive market news. Well, I'm starting to see this thing, Zen, and I'm like, everyone looks at this Pulse Chain thing like, oh, wow, Pulse Chain's so low. Yeah, it is. It sucks for everybody who got involved early. Period. Full stop. It sucks for everybody who got involved early. But that's the same song for so many things. So many things that they had to watch their thing dip 100%, 90%, or whatever, including some of the biggest companies in the world. Sometimes it's the wrong timing. It's the wrong market participation. It's the wrong time to enter. And you just don't know what you don't know. But the Grays is a mathematical, unstoppable equation on this blockchain. And if Pulse Chain turns around, and I have every reason to believe that it will, the Grays currency represents the best opportunity to change your life with a real cryptocurrency out of everything I see on every blockchain. And I keep saying this, but it's like people can't hear it. It's like you say, but people can't hear. And it's because it's, in quotes, it's on Pulse Chain. It's on Pulse Chain. But Zen, like, you're over here saying that I don't agree with that. I think it's important that people understand that the thing that people don't like in terms of Pulse Chain going down is the thing that is filling up the volcano with magma at the bottom that's about to explode, like, massively when this thing turns around. And people just don't know because they don't understand how the math works. It's just frustrating because I keep saying it over and over and over again. And we even say it to our own people, to our own community, which is still so small. My God, it's so small, Zen. Like 3,000 actual holders.
It's tiny.
Oh my God. It's just the distribution that has taken place on this token and the ecosystem since it started. That's priceless because it's bought out 15,000 holders. This product is not the same product it was when it launched. It's literally taking over Pulse Chain. I'll just put it out there. It's taking over Pulse Chain from certain vantage points. To me, it feels like Pulse Chain was designed just to deploy this token on it. That's how crazy it is now. I think, Prairie, didn't you just say, weren't you just comparing the LPs of the cores to the LPs that are within the Grace ecosystem? And basically we've either surpassed like the Hex LPs at this point, or we're about to surpass like the Grace currency on Pulse Chain in terms of liquidity is rivaling the entire Richard Hart ecosystem at this point.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was somebody else. But I believe it. I heard it a couple weeks ago. I don't know who said it.
I think I saw a post from Snowflake, maybe comparing that.
Snowflake's been having some great posts. Yeah.
I'll see if I can pull that post up.
The other day when that gentleman full ported out like with 40 billion pulse, did we take note as to what the machine did? Did that shift pools, or did everything just kind of move together? Did we have an uptick in volume?
Not really. So the problem when someone just full ports pulse instead of anything else on chain pretty much is that everything drops at pretty much the exact same moment because everything is paired with PLS. Where we kind of got a little bit of volume from was our ETH pair, and that's kind of the benefit of those non-connected LP pairs that just isn't everything tied together. But for the most part, we have so much liquidity that is all tied together with Pulse that when someone just sells Pulse and gets out, everything is dropping down just so much locked together that we don't get off of those moves compared to like yesterday when Inc pumped up 20% and that's like one unit moving up compared to everything else. We do a little bit better off of those kinds of shifts.
Do you know if Inc did a pop based off of one large entry, or was it a bunch of little entries? Does anybody know that? Because I know Richard did the whole inflation thing, and he diminished it again. But Zen, right now in the current environment, diminishing inflation, which obviously incentivizes fitting out the LPs even further, which I'll be honest, man, I don't even know how the hell you could fit out LPs any further. I think everybody that was going to leave is gone. I think maybe we saw a few LPs leave, but you thin out the LPs in a bear market where Bitcoin and everything's going down and everything is risk off, that helps the prices go lower. You made the post yesterday, right? In this environment, it helps the prices go lower. Unless obviously you have some extraordinary individuals coming in at a certain time. But without that, the price goes lower easier until you run into a bull market again with a lot of demand.
Yeah, either way, if it goes a little lower or a lot lower, if it goes higher, if we get demand or if we get people selling, obviously thinner LP creates more volatility. Thicker LP makes less volatility. the more volatility Pulse Chain has and the Pulse Chain tokens have, the less bonded together they are, the more volatility they have, up or down. This is amazing for pTGC and UFO. Like this, I did a post, and at the end of the post, I was just like, it literally seems like RH is setting the stage for pTGC and UFO. I don't think he is. I think he's doing all this stuff for his own chain. But it like at times feels that way because I'm like, he's setting the situation up besides the price of Pulse Chain. But when you look at everything else, I'm like, I can't think of a better situation. Not only would that increase volatility, that would then also make some of the main LPs on chain pTGC and UFO LPs, right? If his main LPs get thinner, well, that means pretty much the only large LPs on Pulse Chain are his, which have gotten thinner, and pTGC and UFOs, which forces more value through it.
Well, I just want to also note that the DAO has been doing an amazing job because it shifted a while back ago to a buy and burn of the token and stacking USDC, which has turned out to be a great move because everything has gone a lot lower.
Besides what we're buying and burning.
Well, yeah, besides what we're buying and burning. And the fact that my investment, I'm just talking personally for me, on Pulse Chain, and I mean, you know, the time I've spent to help do my part in the community from day one has been thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of investment of my life into, you know, the promotion of this chain. And I think that looking at the chart and knowing how the design is, it's like, I don't know how else to say it. I'm almost blue in the face at this point. I think that the people that are here with us, the Snowflakes, the Shakas, the Beeroots, Ian, you, Prairie, you know, all of you guys, you know, Crypto Stylist, all the people that are holding this token because they know the long-term reality of this token, I think they get it now. You know, sometimes I wish that some other OGs would show up and give us their thoughts just from a vantage point of, you know, sometimes people, they say, we learn as we go watching something like this. And you know that, Prairie. We're watching in real time what this mathematical machine is doing against the markets on Pulse Chain. It should be like a science experiment. It's kind of like a science experiment in a way. You know, the Grace currency is like this alien mad scientist science experiment. But what we're starting to witness is this most bullish entity that's built on top of this chain. And it's sucking in all of the economic energy and giving it to investors. It's just very exciting to see this, man.
Yeah, it's hard because there's obviously people on chain that know we exist, but they haven't been staring at it as long and as much as we have. And the longer you stare at it, the more you understand. Right? You see Pulse Chain tick up, you see pTGC tick up, you watch the value coming in daily, you watch someone buy, you see what we generate, you watch someone sell, you see what we generate, and then you look at where it's going. If you're not paying attention closely, you miss a lot of the details. And I think the value is in the details. And especially now that we have 2.5 years of watching an idea that was new be put to work, and it pretty much turn out, besides the fact that we thought the chain was going to be in a little bit different of a spot. But besides that point, I actually think as long as Pulse eventually, the suppression of the chain actually makes pTGC better. The fact that the chain has been suppressing the price of pTGC for so long now, I think that has actually made pTGC a better product, not only because it's created better distribution, but it's also given us the opportunity to buy and burn our tokens at cheap prices, to add LP at cheap prices. Like we're adding LP with PLS every single day at these levels. Every single transaction technically adds to it. It's a lot of PLS tokens. And I do think as long as the chain, I believe in this chain over long term, after the distribution, after the market kind of comes back in our favor. Seems like we've had a lot of things just add up against us this last couple of years. But I do think we'll find a bottom, we'll find a turn. And when that turn comes around, pTGC is going to be a monster.
Have you been witnessing? I know there's a good crew in terms of analytics, but have we seen any large sells of the pTGC token? I mean, it's okay to have large sells.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, how many large sells did we have this week?
Yeah, it depends on what you consider a large sell.
Okay, let's say anything over $40,000.
Okay.
I don't think we've had any sells of $40,000.
What about 30,000?
The last $30,000 sell I remember was someone pTGC for the ProveX top.
Yeah, he got absolutely destroyed.
I don't know exactly.
I made a post about that. Yeah. So we're at a point where would you say then, and this is just talk, guys. It's for everybody recording. This is not financial advice. It's just asking a question based on what we're seeing. But what happens when we're done with the sellers for now? You know, obviously anyone can trickle in. We're continuing to add users, and the machine is continuing to generate revenue.
Yeah, obviously that's going to push price up. We're kind of seeing it already. I think everyone who has a bag of pTGC of decent size left really understands the system. They believe in the system long term. They've held the system, and it's treated them better than pretty much probably any other token they've had in their wallet. So that gives them confidence in the protocol. Obviously, time is working in their favor. They've seen it work every single day. Wanting to help it succeed, I think, is a big one too. Like the people who have pTGC in their wallet, I don't think they not only believe in it long term, but they also have a little bit of a feeling of like being part of something and helping it succeed. Everyone who's holding and hodling pTGC are a part of its success. They are a part of its journey. And I think that's something special, right? To actually want to help it get to the next level. If everyone's selling every single week, we have value in our system. We have some of the largest liquidities on chain. A lot of people are up. Obviously, people could just sell and sell and sell. But that doesn't help us get to these next levels where we break all-time highs, start ranking in the top 200 of cryptocurrencies, start ranking in the top 100 of cryptocurrencies. It actually feels like people want to be a part and support that journey. Alongside, I think they know that if they do delay some gratification, they use the system as it's intended, they will be rewarded in the future via better APYs, price appreciation, etc. So I just do believe a lot of the people who were willing to sell, if that's because of time, if that's because of massive price moves up, if that's because of massive price moves down, 95% dips can scare people out. If that's through copycats claiming they have the next pTGC, if that's through just, time, Pulse chain, them just feeling frustrated with Pulse chain and wanting to go to a different chain, you name it, it's been thrown at us. We've gone through about everything, and the people who have bags left, for the most part, I think they believe in this system. They want to support this system. They believe that this is probably a better store of value than honestly, at this point, after that last 95% retracement, after you see Pulse Chain at these all-time low levels, it's probably a better store of value at this price compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you're looking for price appreciation, built-in APY, scarcity, obviously will be more volatile, you know, especially when we do another massive move up, there will always be a decent sized retracement as well. But we are very much working in the right direction every single day to go from a speculative token where you can get hundreds of X's to becoming a true store of value system with built-in sustainability. And I think that's the goal for everyone who does have a nice bag, is to be a part of that and then be exposed to that. Who doesn't want to pull off 100x from this level and then be sitting on 100x, have liquidity backing your token, have it being deflationary and becoming more scarce every single day, having possibly hundreds of millions of dollars generating revenue for the system and for you, and earning a juicy APY off of your newfound value for not having to put any of that value in additional risk. It truly is what everyone is looking for in cryptocurrency, all in one product.
Yep. Charles says that pTGC is the easiest token to hold in all of crypto, not just in the RH ecosystem. And I agree with you, Charles. And one of the reasons is it pays you that passive APY like you were just talking about, Zen. Have we talked about the new ink inflation and its impact on pTGC and UFO yet on this space?
I lightly brushed on it. I would love to go into that conversation a little deeper, what it does for pTGC and UFO, what it could do for APYs in the future, what it could do for value flowing through our system, even with users not even caring about getting our tokens, what it did in the short term. You know, yesterday we saw ink move up because people were excited that pretty much it has no inflation at this point. Like Richard's pretty much reduced it so much that it's like $26 a day spread out amongst every person providing LP. It's pretty much nothing. Pretty much
no, it's dead. It's gone.
Yeah, besides that tiny amount. And people are excited about that for ink. Good for the people who have been farming ink, in my opinion, because you got, especially in the first year, you were getting all this ink, and now it just became very, very scarce as long as you held on to your ink. Hopefully those a lot, because now they're very scarce. Who knows if they do become a governance token like it's written in the code eventually, hopefully. I think that'll help give it utility. But my point is, you know, we have LPs with it. $200,000 with ink. pTGC has like $45,000 with ink. We generated thousands of dollars of volume yesterday, which probably equaled hundreds of dollars of value generation off of those pairs. They will move up and down forever. So we get to reap those rewards. But more importantly, I don't think the inflation cut was so much about pushing the price up of ink, but I think it was more about wanting people to remove those LPs. I think Richard has made tweets about people removing their LPs. I think he's really trying to get people to say, hey, it's not worth impermanent loss, right? Like if you're providing LP and the reward isn't great enough, all you're exposed to is risk, the risk of impermanent loss. If you pair PulseX and ink together, PulseX runs and ink drops, well, your PulseX is getting sold for ink and you get left with the lesser value token at the end. This will never equal the amount of rewards you're getting at this point. So it just financially just doesn't make sense to sit in those farms anymore. But what this does if you're a pTGC holder is RLPs are now going to become, in my opinion, big connecting links between all of the RH tokens, all of meme coins, all of P copies on chain, if a lot of that other LP does end up getting removed. Obviously, we also have a plan of getting it built up too, so we will be a massive connection to the legacy bridged in tokens as well to add value to this chain. So it could make us just, in my opinion, the biggest liquidity place on chain. I don't see why we couldn't if you add up pTGC and UFO, which is massive for a protocol that generates revenue off of volume. And then it could make the tokens that we're connected to more volatile. So when people buy and sell larger amounts of any of the RH ticker, this benefits our system too, because it will help us push past our thresholds.
What also means too that if, you know, the only way for the founder of the chain to offer actual real incentive to add LP in the future is for the price of the token to go up. So unless he readjusts inflation, but there's zero logic to adding more inflation to a network unless there is demand that can soak up like a sponge that inflation, because that's just more downward dog pressure on price, right? So in the sense that, you know, if you actually want to incentivize, it has to be price go up. So if you're earning a lot less of a token, but the token becomes worth a lot more, you know, it offsets the inflation rate change.
Yeah, 100%. You know, people could be getting still the same APY. If I think he reduced it by 90%, people were saying. So if it does a 10x, people are earning the same APY before he did the inflation rate cut.
I want to see pTGC break up past the 3 zeros and a 2 on the USD chart. That resistance there. We're obviously killing it against Pulse, and we're headed to a new all-time high against Pulse very quickly. I want to see us bust through that resistance level on USD, so that we've got both charts starting to really bottom out. I mean, both charts look like they bottomed out, but I'd like to get us past resistance on both.
I made today that the Pulsican store has a $25 gift code for anyone who wants a PT, or really you can get anything on their store. But if anyone wants a pTGC t-shirt or whatever else they have, they might have mugs, they might have hats or sweatshirts. I assume the sweatshirt's more than $25, so you'd have to come out of some pocket there. But if you get anything under $25, the gift is completely free, or the t-shirt or whatever is completely free. So if anyone wants any pTGC merch for free, you can go over to their store and just type in the code. They let me know that this morning.
That's very kind of them.
The whole idea, I don't know if they afford to keep giving away t-shirts for free. They've given away so many, but I actually love the idea of it, of just like getting the t-shirts, not only pTGC t-shirts in the hands of so many people for free, but also the Pulse Chain ones that they give away. Just knowing that people are sporting those things all around town, and I'm sure they spark conversations. Sadly, at these prices, the conversations aren't probably great, but you know, things will turn around, and I think it's an army of users with a marketing piece on their chest, walking through malls and at airports and, you know, at grocery stores, showing pulse chain and hopefully pTGC and UFO as well.
Our ratio is back up to about 16.9.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, we're still crushing it.
One thing I go today was Shaka made another update to the ptgc-ufo.com website. It's kind of like a roadmap in a way, but not with like stuff we have to build, but just community goals. It's targets for the ecosystem. But Nan, I don't know if you want to bring that up and talk through it and show people on YouTube. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
So maybe you could run through it for me.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
As we hit these targets, the boxes will get checked off. And it kind of sets some goals for our community to work towards.
Yeah, let me find it. Targets, there it is. Oh, this is different than this is different than what I was just looking at on Telegram. Let me see. And the one that I'm looking at on Telegram looks much better. Do you know, Zen, the one that he popped into our group, is that the newer version? Or maybe you can say, if you're listening, Shaka, because I can just screenshot it and pull it up on my screen instead of us looking at the older version. Perhaps if that's the older one. I'll screenshot it while I'm waiting for you guys to answer.
Let me see what's in Telegram real quick, because I didn't know something was in Telegram.
Yeah, I think he I think he rebuilt it. So I'm just going to pull it up on my screen. I don't think there'll be any harm in that. He says, pull up the individual target. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, let's do that. Yeah. Ah, there it is. Okay. I've got it. So I'm looking at the pTGC targets. And this is not only a historical reference point, but a future targets. Like, what is our goal? Four different categories: price, market cap, liquidity, and holders. And
can you give us the navigation from landing on the website?
Yep. Good idea. Thank you.
Where we go, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
So ptgc-ufo.com. That's your URL. ptgc-ufo.com. Click on pTGC, and then go over to socials. It's in the top underneath the ratio and the prices and all that. You'll see socials. Click on socials, and then you have pTGC, UFO, and then combined. Scroll down under pTGC, and you will see a button called targets. Click on that, and that pulls up the historical and future targets for price, market cap, liquidity, and holders. And you can see that we're 10.2x away from our all-time high, 76.9x to a penny, 385x to a nickel. Market cap. Well, at one time, our target was 25 million. We achieved that. Next target, 100 million. 100 million. We are 2.31x from a $100 million market cap and 23.1x from a $1 billion market cap. Liquidity, we're 3.28x from $10 million in liquidity at 3.28x. And then you can see the other ones. We're about 8x from 25 million in liquidity, 33x from 100 million in liquidity. And then holders. At one time, our target was 15, achieved it. And then We are 1.14x away from 20,000 holders. That is our next target. And we're inching toward it, I think 10 new holders a day. And then the next target will be 25. And once we reach these targets, guys, we will set new ones. And I'm sure Shaka will update this and with the new ones. It's going to be cool because you know how you like, I don't know, I don't know if they still do it. Like they'll raise money and they'll have like the thermometer, and it's motivating to see that red line go up and then it hits the top and then you see all that progress, right? Well, we're going to have the same thing right here on this website. And we're going to be able to look back and think, wow, one day, at one time we only had 15,000 holders and now we have, however many, 50,000 or something like that. It's going to be a cool historical record to have.
Yeah, I like the archived little stamp on there. It shows that you're hitting goals and moving forward.
Yeah. Charles says if Pulse Chain coughs, we'll be at a $10 million liquidity. Agreed.
It's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
The drudgery of people not knowing, Prairie, that it was going to take a full cycle. I don't consider it a full cycle till Bitcoin bottoms. From having to bottom, to me, that's a full cycle.
Sure.
So we're not quite there yet.
Yep.
I agree. I think we bottomed last month at 60. That was it.
I know you do. But
I know we had that long.
You want, brother. You can think whatever you want.
I think 60. I think 60 was that.
I think you want 60 to be that.
Well, shit. I want pTGC to be $1. That way, all I got to do is claim my extra tokens each week and retire.
I feel you, brother. I think we still have one really, really strong leg down on the market. I've been here for too long.
Honestly, a lot of it's going around Iran. If he's working on crypto in the background, and if he can tie up Iran and get that out,
yeah.
Well, they're all narrative.
Yeah, I don't even care about those narratives.
I know we don't care about them, but they're there.
Yeah, but it's like, for example, it's narratives are narratives, but I just don't think that really is going to affect much on the cycle. Show me the chart. I'll show you the news.
Well, one thing's for sure. Nothing is going to happen on Pulse Chain until ETH is over 4K.
Yeah.
He's not selling at a loss, and he's at 37 average.
Yeah, I don't even like even talking about that stuff anymore because it's at this point it's irrelevant.
DCA.
We don't even know what the money
do.
is anymore. I mean, the ETH got taken and tornado cashed, and people don't even know where it is or what it's in or anything anymore.
No, but we know he got 16 million out of that Prove X, and that's probably what he's going to be spending because that's found money. Everybody leave. And wasn't that Giga who dumped that 60 billion? I thought that was Giga. So. PLS.
I think they're just trolling.
Yeah.
Just kind of creating
engagement,
farming stuff.
Yep.
Just trolling.
But you don't think he wiped out his validators and
No. Yeah.
Giga's still here, dude.
Well, pTGC hasn't reached SOTA videos yet, so that's always a good sign.
What do you mean by that?
That guy comes up with videos on everything.
Yeah, let's not even go there. That's such BS, horrible narrative, negativity trash. It's not even worth bringing it up.
It is negativity trash. And if he can't find anything on pTGC, that's what I'm saying. It's a solid thing.
It's worth mentioning that because Inc. is having a little run up now, that if you made a UFO, UFO pairing with Inc. recently, you may have an opportunity to increase your UFO shares. So just go to ptgc-ufo.com and look up your UFO shares and look in that LP pool also. And if you have more UFO in that pool than you have UFO shares, you can literally unpair that LP and repair it for more UFO shares, which means you will be earning more rewards.
Yeah, I believe Shaka just made an update too to where you can look in those specific pairs, right?
Yes.
I saw that in the Telegram a little bit ago.
And I'll pull that up for the viewers on YouTube.
Yeah, it's very confusing for a lot of people on that, Zen. And, as you know, they ask a lot about, can I ampere and get more shares? It would be interesting if you could just connect your wallet and it would tell you, oh yeah, you can actually unpair and you'd get more shares. Instead of people having to guess.
Yeah, you mean if there was some kind of notification that showed up on the
imagine you're on on the dashboard, you click on UFO, you click on shares, you connect your wallet, and it says, and it shows you exactly what you guys just said.
Yep.
And it takes all the guessing work out of, hey, if I unbond and then rebond, you'll get more shares.
Yep. I had that idea one time for look into ptgc.com, the old metric site. That's a good idea. Because
it just seems like it would just be very basic math to pull from the chain. I know there's a lot of BS Shaka has to do to get information, but I feel like that's just looking at a current balance of an LP and looking at just nominal information. Maybe I'm incorrect, but
I'll ask him to see how easy that would be. I think he's already gathering all that information anyways. He could just, maybe create something that looks it up for you and gives you that symbol. Like, hey, possibility here on his site. I'll ask him about that.
Cool.
Somebody had a question for me.
If I'm wrong, but aren't you losing on one by gaining on the other if you did that?
No.
Pulling the pools?
Yeah, so if you close the pool down and then instantly open it back up, keep in mind with the pTGC and UFO pair, this is very difficult because there's a lot of fees involved. So this idea that we're talking about doesn't work for the pTGC UFO pair. And it also is pretty hard PLS pair because there's the fee on exiting of the PLS pair. But all the other RH tickers, this is pretty easy to do, worth paying attention to. If you close and open it back up, you're pretty much in the exact same spot as you were prior to closing it down, just with a little loss of gas fees. And then if you lock in those better UFO shares, you're going to be earning a better AT because you picked up additional UFO share tokens.
You all got to stop giving out the advice there, diluting my shares here. I've done this. This is Snowflake, by the way. I've done this 2 or 3 times on the way down, and I'm like, I had some pulls a long time ago, but I closed some of those out. But this is a second chance for me to like build up my shares.
Are you saying you're redoing your UFO share rates right now, or?
I've done it multiple times already on the way down.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I probably need to look at mine a little bit. I specifically,
No, you don't. You're good. You're good. You're fine.
You're good, Zen, right? You're good, bro. Snowflake.
Snowflake sitting there just like, oh my God, what are they doing?
Snowflake's like, I don't want anybody ever to go back into the pools. Nobody rebalanced your share rates, dude. Nobody.
So hey Zen, this is Shaka. So hey, I actually had some of that built into the dashboard, and I took it away mainly because it is a little more complicated than just the math. I know that doesn't sound right, but I get worried about the site giving
Wrong information.
for lack of better words, finance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for example, if you recycle your Pulse one, you actually do have to pay the fee because of the Pulse wrap Pulse issue. Like little things like that. And I would hate to have it show like, hey, here's a better way to get your share rate. But oh, by the way, you just paid a big fee on your UFO by pulling it to re-add it, etc. So I could look at it again and maybe try to get it very clear and maybe some disclaimers because that's a good idea. And like I said, I did have that built in as I was doing the portfolio, but then I was just like, golly, I'd hate to give the wrong information. It's such a careful game of making sure you don't mess up your share rate.
That's true.
But maybe I could build it again, have Zen just really look at it. Maybe even you look at it too, and just make sure it feels almost like idiot proof. Then we could throw that back in there.
Yeah, right off the bat, I would even say it might be worth not including the PLS one and the pTGC one and just the other R because of those being easier to calculate.
Yeah, I would agree. If because of the way the smart contracts were designed, Shaka, those are problems. You actually can't do those, right? So including them, why even include them?
You could do them, but the gap would have to be a lot bigger, which those possibilities do come up for people who have made them at less good spots. If you made these at all-time highs of UFO, obviously came down, well, you're getting more UFO. So you would definitely have the opportunity still, but just for like what you were saying, Shaka, that you just get nervous about them losing and them being like, oh my God, I lost because of this. Maybe it's just not even worth including those ones in, the sign like, hey, you have an opportunity here with the other RH tickers. But I completely understand what you're saying.
Prairie, if you could just go over one more time what you said, very simply, if you have this much UFO, and just for the people in here, at the behest of Snowflake, but let's give a little people some alpha. What's the easy way to see if you can unlock and capture some more shares?
Sure. Let me pull it up on screen for the viewers on YouTube. So you would go to, and this is how I would do it right now, which I just did a few minutes ago. After this conversation, I'm like, wow, I should go check my own situation. But I think because I paired up so long ago, mine aren't worth doing anything with. But your UFO shares determines how much Pulse rewards you get. And they're one-to-one with how many UFO you put into an LP. And the UFO in your LP is always going to fluctuate. Mostly, we suppose, and we've seen in the past, you're going to end up with less UFO in your LPs, which means your UFO, which means you have more shares than you have UFO. But there are occasions like when a token runs up, like Inc. is doing right now, where people are buying. How's that work in the liquidity pool? They're buying the Inc. and depositing the UFO. right? Is that how it works? Sorry, I'm.
Well, the ink is going up. So if you own an LP, ink is going up. You're getting more of the UFO,
Yep.
which would balance it out against your shares. So ultimately, if you look at it and you have shares, the amount of shares, and it's a 1-to-1 with the amount of UFO in your wallet, that's when you can unstake it or unpair it.
Right. So if you enter an LP with 100 million UFO, for example, and ink and like a UFO ink pairing, let's use that for the example. And today, because ink is running up against UFO, and this is going to apply mostly to people that have made this LP recently. And now you go to pTGC-UFO.com and you see that you have 110 million UFO in that LP. Well, that represents an opportunity because now you can unpair and then repair with your 110 million UFO. And then you'll have 110 million UFO shares, garnering you more pulse rewards. And the way you'll do that is go to pTGC-UFO.com and click on the portfolio section, enter your wallet that has that LP in it, and scroll down on the UFO section. Let me remove this comment. And then you'll see all of your LP positions down here. And I think if you hover over it, if you hover over your UFO Inc. LP, you can see three items in there. Your share rate at the top, your UFO in LP, and then your Inc. And this one, for example, has a UFO share rate of 58.71 UFO. The UFO in LP, 15.7. Well, that if I unpaired that LP right now and repaired it, I would reduce my UFO shares. But there was a time, I think it was the year before last, when Inc. had a run up and I was able to unpair and repair and I increased my UFO shares. So that opportunity probably exists for somebody if they made a UFO Inc. pairing recently. And that it doesn't just apply to Inc., but any RH ticker. When they run up, have a look at your, inside your LP and see if perhaps you have more UFO than you have UFO shares. And you can literally increase your rewards that way, your APY.
Yeah, a big one, Banana, is if you LP'd when UFO was close to its all-time highs, it has came down in ratios against a lot of tickers since then, just because those all-time high prices. So if you're someone who got in during, February, January of 2025, and you did LPs there, you are most likely in the situation where you can do this method to get more UFO shares and it costs you nothing. Yeah, so it's mainly because you have to realize when price of UFO goes down against the chain or against other tokens, this is from people selling their UFO. If it was just going down because of bonded liquidity, people aren't really selling their UFO too much. It's getting dragged down through pairings. So if people are selling UFO, which people did from the all-time high, they are literally putting their UFO into the LP, increasing your LP pool, and taking out the RH ticker that's in it. Mm-hmm. Hence, you're getting left with more UFO. Your opportunity is you can close that down, reopen it, and get higher UFO shares. But I did want to point out, too, since the conversation's on UFO shares, about just readjusting them to get the most out of them, possibly also consider creating some new LPs. Pulse tokens are at all-time low prices, and that's half of what you need to lock in UFO shares. And UFO is at crazy cheap prices, roughly a 4 million market cap. I even have this specific public wallet where it's a 30K wallet that I made specifically for UFO farming, and UFO goal was to eventually get it to $1 million because I believe UFO was super good prices. This is like a year and a half ago. This is a couple months after UFO launched. At the time, UFO was 2 million market cap. Currently, it's 4, so it's only up 2x, only up 100% since then. But the opportunity now is even better to an extent is the RH ticker is so much cheaper on the other side right now. Literally, RH ticker, I swear, is I think like 7x cheaper or 5x cheaper than when I created. Surprisingly, I think the wallet is still close to being in the positive, even though RH tickers are like 5x lower. And the reason is because UFO is keeping me afloat. UFO is saving my portfolio there.
That's amazing.
At 30K. You know, that wasn't right at launch or anything. That was a couple months after launch.
I remember.
Still, UFO, I think, is a steal when you look at the liquidity that it's battle tested, you know, the amount of supply bought and burnt, the strong community and distribution that we have now with UFO. But yeah, if you're someone who sees value in this ecosystem, who wants PLS rewards, UFO shares are extremely cheap right now, because really everything on chain is super cheap. Everyone has the opportunity right now to build the positions of the tokens that they think are going to be successful this next cycle. Just like you had that opportunity last cycle with Pulse Chain, if you built a position in pTGC and UFO, you won heavily, right? Like you did a 50x move from a 2 mil all the way up to 100 mil market cap of UFO. And depending on what dip you bought or what low point you got into pTGC at, you did 50 times. Like we went from 500K market cap, which was a few months after launch, all the way up to 400 mil market cap. Then we went from a 5 mil market cap all the way up to 400 mil market cap. Like we did some massive moves on both protocols. Use the bear market to build the positions in the protocols that you want to hold. If that's LPs with UFO for those UFO shares, if that's just holding UFO and earning APY just for holding plus getting that full price appreciation, if that's getting some pTGC, staking and locking that out a good chunk of time. Maybe you don't want to lock. Maybe you just want to stake. But this is the best way to take advantage of a bear market. Look at all the information you have on Pulse Chain. The data is just laid out for you. We have 3 years of Pulse Chain operating, and you can make a very educated decision on what is the best way to win next cycle. You can
so Zen, am I correct in from the dashboard Shocker created that right now the APY is 4.52% per month, or 4.25% on UFO.
For sure,
like, for
not
example,
per month. That would be per year.
No, per year. No, it's APY. It's APY.
Yeah.
But is like, for example, if I put in a whale position in UFO, and on the monthly time span with the current volume at 21,847, it's spitting out $386 a month in passive income, which is 4.52% APY.
Are you on the reward section of the calculators, or where are you?
Yes, I'm on the reward section of the UFO calculator with 10 billion UFO
and you're
on the monthly.
Just holding?
Just holding, yes.
Yeah. And then you're typing in the average volume that we've had lately, or?
Well, it actually populated on its own. I didn't type in anything. It populated the entire. It says enter daily volume, and it auto populated.
That's today's volume. That's today's volume.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you put in a whale position, amount holding, and then you put in UFO share rate. Okay, so I put in the share rate, which is 10. It's 10 billion for a whale position. Let's just put it there. So that would be the UFO share rate, right?
So that would be ULP to whale position.
Correct. ULP to whale position. That's $386 a month currently at today's volume.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if I want to see a whale position not LP'd, you just leave it out of that.
Yep.
So currently right now, the person holding shares is earning more than the person just holding in APY or in passive income.
Correct.
Now, you remember how before it was different?
Yeah.
Where just holders were actually earning more from just holding.
Correct.
Why do you think there's a shift in the UFO protocol to where now the tide is turned and you're actually earning more pulse in terms of APY than holders just holding?
It could be due to people are shaking out and some early UFO share rates have been relinquished.
The pools are being undiluted.
Yeah, so as time goes on, if early share rates, like if you lock in early share rates now, and then let's say time goes on and Pulse Chain successful, pTGC, UFO are successful, and imagine, I think I was talking about this on maybe YouTube on Monday. Imagine time goes on and people are building UFO share rates 10. So those users would have to bring in 10 times, to spend 10 times more value to get the same amount of UFO as you. They'd have to spend 10 times more value to possibly get the same amount of RH ticker as you. And they'd have to put that in LP. So they would actually be putting 10 times the amount of value in LP to get the same amount of share rates as you. Well, that's 10 times more value working, right? So the fact that we are rinsing out early people in UFO LPs, they're leaving, they're selling, they're getting rid of early share rates, but not getting necessarily that same value out. But then if someone replaces them with that same amount of value, but they're locking in way less share rates, where they try to get those same amount, they had to put in, say, times the amount of value. So 5 times the amount of value is working, it increases the APY. So it could just be the fact that early UFO people are leaving. I think it's just because UFO share rates are so cheap right now. UFO in general is cheap right now, but the RH ticker side's really cheap right now, etc. So
does the dashboard show give us the ability to see volume on the protocol, like 30-day volume, 60-day, 90-day volume?
It does.
Yep.
I have on my site all the way up to a year. So let me hop over to that real quick.
Does it, Shaka, if you're still here, does your site show UFO volume or time frames?
It shows.
How do you see
if you're referring to the actual calculator, the pre-buttons default to like the 24-hour, but there also is a 7-day average, 30-day average, and 90-day average built in. And then you could type in whatever daily volume you choose. So you could put 500K, or anticipating what you think of the future, and it will populate the APY based upon that volume. Is that what you're asking?
Okay, yeah. So I see that last 90-day, 7-day, and it populates that. Okay. I see what this is now. That's all I needed to know on that.
So our average yearly volume, because you're calculating APY, so I think it'd be good to use the yearly volume. Our average daily for the year is $38,000.
That's good. So it's just 240.
And that's for UFO, right?
Correct.
Yes, that's almost 8% APY on the average for the year.
Whoa.
And that's with just horrendously low volume.
But
similar to Snowflake.
That position would cost $104,000 to LP that right now to get at that kind of APY or revenue. With a whale position, it's $52,000, so you'd have to double that and LP it.
Yep.
Well, the APY didn't matter how big the position is. That's the percentage of whatever size you're at. But you know, so people could do whatever. I too, I'm similar to Snowflake. I think this is something that just never gets talked about, and it's probably my favorite part of the Grays is this UFO share rate stuff, and it just prints pulse all the time, and we're so low. And I know 8% APY doesn't sound too exciting, but when you're talking about 8% APY and a chain that's freaking dead, that's
crazy.
Pretty impressive. You know, when you start to put in some numbers, you click that little $1 million a day button, which we've had before, you know, and now you're starting to get to 200% APY, and getting those share rates here is key. And to add to what Zen was saying, because I watch this very closely, I really watch UFOs and shares and stuff closely. The reason that APY is going up is because a lot of LP did get removed. You know, when UFO was getting higher and so forth, people that did those pools, when they were looking to sell their UFO, they unpaired and then they sold their UFO. So a lot of share rate has come out. I noticed a pretty decent share rate get yesterday. I think it was like 10 grand or something with Inc. Someone did. And, you know, they're getting a great share rate here. And if you really believe in this system and this product, it's my opinion that once you create a pair, you won't want to pull it, especially as volume kicks back up. You'll just let it be your printer for you, and you're just going to leave it be. And it's just such a good deal.
Especially if you lock them in at these low levels, right, Shaka? Like if you can lock them in now instead of, you know, later, your APY is going to be that much better, which gives you more incentive to keep holding it as price rises.
Yeah, and when you get a taste of those pulse rewards and you look in a week and you're like, holy moly, you just never want to pull them again. So even down here at the lows, I mean, I'm not getting near the pulse I used to, but it's still decent enough. And you remember the days of how much pulse you were getting when we had those, you know, 500K volume days, million K, you know, just better days. You know, I just think if you got some extra RH tickers still sitting around, now's such a great time to just buy some UFO and pair that up and get that share rate. I mean, I know I'm diluting me. Sorry, Snowflake. I know it's diluting you, but it's the truth. It's what's best, in my opinion.
Thank you for that, Shaka. What is the yearly on pTGC volume from the website, Zen?
Yeah, 1 second. Just give me like 30 seconds.
I noticed something cool that Shaka built into ptgc-ufo.com. I've never noticed this before, but if you're on the UFO rewards calculator, if you scroll down below the reward at the bottom of the reward calculator, you can see the total share rate. So if you have UFO shares, you know how like in Hex, you've got the Hex share rate and you can figure out your league position. Well, you can do the same thing with UFO because you have the total share rate right here. You can compare yourself and find your league in UFO shares. That's super cool.
So the average volume for pTGC is $113,000 a day. And this is based on the last year. pTGC is producing a little bit more than double the amount of volume compared to UFO.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
I think for anyone that's kind of considering this, the actual better calculator to probably look is the new Capital Simulator tab instead. Because you could just put in your USD at the top and then, you know, on the versus compare, you'll see pTGC and see UFO on the right. Just put it all in UFO. And if you click the hold in LP and just slide the bar over, you'll see what your reward should be on that $10,000 or whatever number you put in there. But
What do you mean hold an LP? Are you doing all in or verse compare?
So put your dollar amount in, say it's $10,000, and you click all in, and you choose UFO.
Got it.
Then in the UFO box you can say hold only or hold an LP. Do the hold an LP, and you can drag the slider to be like 50% hold, 50% LP. Just drag the slider to be 100% LP, and it'll show you what the rewards would be: daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Again, at this low volume, but it still gives you a good idea.
Got you. Okay. Man, that's awesome. It's awesome, Chuck. You got a lot of stuff on this website, dude, that people don't know about.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
You're going straight crackhead on this thing, dude.
It's stinking cool, man. So just to give you an idea for the people that are listening on X, $5,000 into UFO LP'd today, and if we had $2 million of volume, it would garner every year $29,554, $540, $29,540 in rewards, APY of 314%. That's $5,000 into a UFO LP today.
And one thing to make note of, so I always thought it was only fair to get an APY number including the cost you have in the other side. So the APY on UFO, when looking at the LP rewards, includes the cost, the initial cost of the other side.
All right.
So it's not doing it just on, say, if you put 5,000 in, it's not doing it based on just $5,000 entered to get your return on $5,000. It's doing your return on $10,000 because it knows you have to put up that equal dollar amount of the other side.
Right.
When you're on that new capital simulator, where does it allow you to see? Oh, you can do custom volume. Click on custom, and you can do whatever amount of volume for the day, right?
Yep. And I put in $2 million because we've had that before. Last year, on one day, we had $2 million of volume in UFO and pTGC, by the way. So if we can do that at the bottom of the chain, what could happen when we're running up, you know?
Yeah. When you put that number in, does it just auto-populate whatever volume? Yes, it does. Okay, got it. Cool. Thanks, man.
I noticed something else on the rewards calculator. Shaka, if you're listening, this is interesting. So I just mentioned how you can see your total share, the total share rate for the whole ecosystem. That's 669 billion. That's the share rate. But the eligible tokens for reflections is 703 billion. The total supply we started with 1 trillion basically. But if you take 669 billion plus 703 billion, that's 1.372 trillion. So so I'm trying to wrap my head around like that total share rate is 669 billion shares, but it was from less. I'm mixing up my words, but you kind of follow me on that.
Yeah. So with share rates, you can still have a share rate locked in, even though you don't have custody of those UFO tokens anymore.
Yep.
Because someone bought them from you, and then that person that bought them from you could have very easily went and LP'd them back up too. So the UFO share rates, as far as the number goes, could continue to increase if early people don't close them down, and then new people keep buying. Like, even imagine 10 years from now, where those tokens could have been bought and then LP'd and then bought and then LP'd, and all those previous legs before could still have UFO share rate. Where UFO holdings could start to really show a benefit as well, because there's only so much that people can hold. You can't hold and let someone else them from you. It's either you're holding them or you're not holding them. So there's definitely a very capped supply with the holding. Do I think the LP one will hit crazy numbers? I don't, because as price goes up, it will become more difficult and more difficult and more difficult to get those UFO share rates. You'd have to spend a lot of money, and you have to buy them out of the existing LP. And if a lot of people are holding, that means there's only so much circulated. So my point is, it's never going to add up to perfectly $1 trillion if you add up holdings and UFO shares, because the UFO shares can be technically the same token used as share rates multiple times. But I don't think it'll hit crazy numbers either.
No.
And numbers, because if people keep buying them and then pushing price up and then buying them and share rating them and buying them and share rating them, people are going to have to keep shoving more and more value into the LP web, which just means more capital for the holders, and also more capital working for UFO, and also more capital working for pTGC and more value backing pTGC.
Yep.
Like we talked about, right now we're at cheap UFO share prices, but just a year, this is a pretty cool example. Roughly a year and 2 months ago, UFO was 20 times more expensive. So to get those same UFO shares, you would have to spend 20 times more value to get those same amount of UFO shares.
Wow.
Than where we are today.
Yep.
Because UFO went on a pretty huge discount, and it still hasn't had like a massive pop up yet. It's still very, very cheap in general. It's moved up definitely more than RH cores, but it's, still at a 95% discount.
Everybody remember to vote on plsfolio.com for both pTGC and UFO. I'm doing my votes right now. There, got that done. Backwards Hat Dad says he can't imagine holding cores only and having no exposure to pTGC. Yeah, I can't imagine that either.
Yeah, sadly, a lot of people are in that boat. I feel like we have to feel for everyone on Pulse Chain who wasn't able to kind of get into the few winners that were on chain. Some people got into a few of them. I think the P copies had their run. A couple meme tokens had their run. pTGC and UFO had their run. If you didn't speculate on any of those plays, it was a rough 3 years. This is the honest truth.
Yeah.
There's no reason to poke at this situation. It's completely understandable, just believing in, what you came to Pulse Chain for and thinking that you don't have to go that step further to speculate.
Yeah.
I completely understand this side of it, but I do want to bring up, we are 3 years in and we have so much data to understand and work through now. And I just want to bring up, if Pulse Chain ever does go, if Hex ever does go, if PulseX ever does go, one of the biggest beneficiaries of this is pTGC and UFO and the people who hold pTGC and UFO. So you can actually still be exposed to RH cores when they do have their run by being exposed to pTGC and UFO, but also being exposed to independent growth. And that independent growth is the thing that made the big difference last cycle. And I personally believe that it's going to be the thing that makes the big difference this cycle as well. If Pulse Chain does have a nice run, you know, we are so low now that a nice run might just be levels that we've already seen previously. You know, 20x from here doesn't even get us to the highs that happened, I think, like 4 months after Pulse Chain's launch, not like the launch highs. I think the launch highs are, gosh, probably 35x away from here. I think the 6 month after launch is probably like a 25x from here. So let's even say we just went to those ranges. Like a 25x move is a size move we've never even seen on Pulse Chain. It would feel absolutely amazing, but it's just levels that we've been before. So if you're not buying these dips right now, you're like round tripping gains you've already had. So I do think it is important to like look at the options you have in front of us with these new low prices. If you want it to reap the rewards of the gains that we're going to get from these all-time lows, you have to DCA, or you have to allocate your capital to the things that can do independent growth on top of the general Pulse Chain growth. pTGC has been doing this since its launch. When Pulse Chain has moved up 5x, pTGC's moved up 50x because we've been doing X's against Pulse Chain. Even look at right now, our low was like a 4-to-1 ratio, and we're currently at a 16-to-1
17 to 1. Yeah.
17-to-1 ratio. So, you know, a 4x against Pulse Chain, I think, yeah, like a 4x against Pulse Chain in the last couple months, like that's a 4x multiplier on whatever Pulse Chain does if you were able to do that ratio flip at the bottom. This is how people were successful on Pulse Chain last cycle. I believe this is also how people will be successful on Pulse Chain this cycle. I actually think the best move, this is my personal opinion, no financial advice, is you combine the two. I think it's worth DCA at these lows, not only into RH tickers, but consider the DCA into the speculative plays that can do growth on top, which is tokens. The communities that are working, the communities that have their head down, the communities that are releasing new products on a weekly basis, and the ones that have been proven to do this in the past.
I'm dropping a friend of mine's Twitter handle in the chat on YouTube. His name is Jay Gold. Zen, you know him. He's a large holder. He loves our community. He loves our assets. He just got started on X this week. He has 203 followers on X. Let's get him some new followers. He wants to make an impact on X for Pulse Chain and probably the Grays currencies too. So Jay Gold, you can look him up at Jay Gold, and that's just the J and then the G, JGOLD. I'll drop it in the chat. And then Zen, you and I are streaming with High Altitude Investing on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And I've been in his YouTube comment section a bit. He's really good with TA. He's a young guy, seems to be really level-headed. And I've been in his chat. He has been exposed to pTGC quite a bit because people ask him to do TA on the Grays while he's streaming. I don't know how much he has looked into them, but he's probably going to get quite a bit of exposure to them on Wednesday when we stream with him. So jump in if you guys are available. Jump into the stream. Follow him on socials, on X and YouTube. Subscribe to his channel, and we'll try to get him over to the Grays. And he has quite a following. So we can reach. Actually, we're streaming with him on my channel. I don't know if I conveyed that, but he's coming to our channel. So that's where we'll start. That's my intention. We'll start on mine. Next time, we'll stream on his. But nevertheless, when he streams on our channel, he's going to bring his audience. Some of them at least will watch.
Is there a place?
Yeah, hopefully it's a way maybe for us to get you some followers. Banana, maybe he brings some of his community into you, and then maybe next time we go over to his.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not opposed to it. I told you guys this morning, like, the only reason I'm on YouTube and X guys is for the Grace currencies. I ain't here to I'm not here to be a celebrity or nothing like that. But if being a celebrity means I got to be one so we can, pump our bags, let's do it. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on X.
Yeah, I think that's, good to bring up again. We brought it up at the beginning is, we have people like Banana, Shaka, who are working really, really hard for this community behind the scenes, countless hours of creating videos, creating new tools. If they do post something, if you guys can spend a second, 2 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute, and trying to like, share it, comment on it on every platform they're releasing it on. Shock, I know, is only on X. Banana has his stuff on X and YouTube, and I think even TikTok. If you can help in any way possible to just get that reach out further, likes, comments, shares, do what you can, because they're putting a lot of hours into doing this, and they're not doing this for their own influence. They're not influencers. They're doing this to get the Grays in front of new people, and it's up to us to help use what they're creating for us and push it out that next level so their time is well spent. So, kind of call to action by the community. I've been doing a big call to action on in real life onboarding, keep educating. There's a affiliate system that can pay you for bringing in new users. Technically, you could even use Banana's videos that he's posting. I know he would love the new users to use his affiliate link, but I'm sure he's also okay if you just share it around and use your own. He just wants it to be used and for it to be shared and for it to help pTGC. So do what you can to help us grow with in real life people. Do what you can to educate, to onboard, and then also do what you can for the people who are producing content and tools for us. Make sure their time is being well spent and share their stuff.
Yeah, hopefully I'm okay throwing this in there too. But after we stream with Dolan, I think he's gonna that's with High Altitude Investing. His name is Dolan. I'm pretty sure he's gonna make a referral link because he was asking about it. So, use his referral link. Like, imagine, put yourself in his shoes. He's new to this community, or he's checking us out, and then suddenly, he puts his referral link out there, and people are buying pTGC, maybe just a little bit, maybe a lot of pTGC, but any kind of deflection in with his referral link will make an impression on him and perhaps make him want to say more things about pTGC and talk about it more. So what I'm saying is use his referral link. Use all these guys. When we stream with somebody, the next time you buy pTGC, use their link. If you want to get the word out about the Grays currencies, then make an impression on these people with their, with real capital.
Yeah, get them paid. Get them paid.
Absolutely.
Get them paid. Don't just always use your little link trying to get you an extra $4 of tokens. Use part of it as you're part of the marketing budget of the ecosystem that you want to see explode.
There you go.
Everybody this is a decentralized atmosphere, so everybody can help by clicking somebody's link and helping the guy earn $100 worth of pTGC or whatever, and he's like, "Wow, this is awesome."
Yeah, now he's got some skin in the game, and he's incentivized to keep talking about it. I can also say that about Banana. Hey, if you're someone who's DCA your bag of pTGC right now, like, dude, we're in a bear market. You could be DCAing for 6 months. You know, I don't think that's not a bad idea. I think DCAing the whole low of the bear market is a way people are very successful in the bull market. Consider using bananas. You know, if you have no one that you're looking to use Banana. He's busting his butt creating content, and I'm sure he won't turn pTGC tip for all his efforts just using his reward link.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. I'm going to start sharing Banana because I see him all over the place. I really got to get into that. Start because I'm a quick swiper.
If you're not using one already, it costs you nothing to just use bananas.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm not going to do it myself because I honestly, I just don't have enough time. I'm not making videos. I like Banana. I like him a lot, actually.
Thank you.
I see him around. He Crypto 7, he even talked about you on one of his streams.
Oh, okay.
No, Banana is a gem. He's a gem. He's the kindest man you'll meet. He's the most integrity you got, and he works tirelessly for the ecosystem, and he loves the ecosystem.
Yep.
He works very hard for the community.
If you're onboarding someone in real life and you don't even want to create your own referral link, just because maybe you're someone who's like, hey, this isn't going to be my bread and butter. I'm just going to DCA myself to get my position. Don't be afraid to share Banana's link. Like, have your onboard.
There you go. Huh.
Use Banana's link.
Not a
like,
bad idea.
He's grinding really hard for this ecosystem. Or use one of these new guys, like we were saying earlier. You could also use them to get them some skin in the game. So maybe they keep onboarding for our ecosystem as well. We have a few options in front of us. Pick the one that kind of fits what you like and what you want to see. But the tool's there. Use the tool.
Yep. Yeah, I think the fact that we can use these new guys, new influencers to the ecosystem, the fact that we can use their referral link could be really powerful for getting the word out about the Grays. Yeah, it's something that I think we had a vision for when we were building the referral system, but it's just becoming more clear, like how to use it. Like, think of it this way. It's a tip, like when Dolan comes on Wednesday, we can tip him. I'm going to.
That's the way I look at it. So, I'm not sending anything personally, but if somebody else does, then great.
It's a tip that doesn't cost you anything.
Yep.
You're still getting the same amount of pTGC as you would have gotten buying on PulseX.
Well, I mean, by sharing his link, I actually am tipping myself as well as him because if more people buy it, price go up. We like price go up.
Yep. And I don't know if you guys have seen the new pie charts on ptgc-ufo.com. I'll pull it up. But Shaka built this into the site. You can, for example, like you can click on here's a good one to click on because he has quite a few purchases with it. With his referral link is Crypto 7. And you can see all of the individual purchases with his referral link because he's been pushing it. And you can see, of course, the total amount of pTGC that he's sold in tokens or in dollars. It's very cool. And so what you do is I sent Crypto 7's pie chart. All of this is public. Okay. It's all on the available for anybody to see on the website. But I sent him an example. I sent him a screenshot of Crypto 7's. And so he had that. It's probably one of the reasons he got interested in the referral system. I'll pull one up for you guys on YouTube. It's in the affiliate section.
And just to remind everyone, create their own affiliate link. You do not need to be an influencer. You can create your own. And if you're someone who's actively onboarding in real life, like you're telling coworkers or buddies, and you want to earn free pTGC for doing so. You can create your own, and just when you're onboarding someone, you send them the link, and when they buy on the website, it gives you the credits month, which is in 3 days. The system will pay you out your rewards, which is 2% of whatever someone purchases. So if they buy $10,000 of pTGC, you're going to earn $200 of pTGC at these low prices. That $200 after a 10x is $2,000. After $100 or 100x is $20,000 just for that one onboard. So yeah, it's a great way to earn. Obviously, it takes time to onboard, so it's a good way to kind of directly benefit through your efforts. And someone who maybe doesn't have extra cash to DCA, this is a great way to DCA just with some effort. Also, great prices to get people in. I think that can't be overlooked. If there was any time to get people into Pulse Chain tokens, the all-time low of Pulse Chain is the time. Mando was kind of saying this earlier. The truth is the early people was not the best time to get in. The early people definitely bought for way too much. The best opportunity is now to get into Pulse Chain.
Yeah, you just gotta wonder, Zen, like there's a big spreadsheet of all the wallets. You just gotta wonder at this point how many people really are even left with these big exits forever. Where does it actually bottom?
I forget the number now, but Pulse Chain stat was some information that I think they said 90% of the top 100 sacrificers have already sold their tokens or something like that.
Wow.
It was, I forget the exact number. It was like 90% of the top 20 or 90% of the top 100 have already sold their tokens. They're gone, or 90% of their bag is gone.
Yeah, and I remember the shark positions were so thin on all of them, like that there's just not a lot of big holders left.
Yeah, it's somewhat mind-blowing to me just knowing that, and it's hard because there's so many people in Pulse Chain, in Hex, in PulseX that have been grinding for 3 years. And I give it to everyone, right? Like even I give it to everyone in pTGC and UFO that have been grinding. But it's just so crazy to think that like anyone getting onboarded today has no emotion. They don't know the story. They weren't a part of the story. They're literally getting
We lost you, Zen.
me.
Zen?
You just
hear me?
talked back, Zen. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Banana, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just rewind about 10 seconds.
Okay. I was just saying it's like crazy to think about. People have been grinding for 5 years for Hex, 5 years for Pulse Chain, 5 years for PulseX. It's been out for 3 years. But people that you onboard in today are getting 20 times better of a deal than the people who sacrificed years ago.
Yep.
That means just going back to sacrifice price. Anyone who DCAs this level or just a fresh new onboard, someone you onboard that's a coworker, a friend, a family member, whatever it is. If we just go back to sacrifice price, they're up 20x. And there's a lot of people that waited 5-6 years that are just break even at that point if they didn't DCA these levels. That's kind of why I'm saying is like part of me thinks the only way you can actually win at this point.
Oh no.
Broke up again.
Token.
The only way you can win at this point, and you cut off,
is by rotating into something that could do X's on top of the gas token, because just the gas token going up to sacrifice price is like an 18x from here. So people buying these levels will be up 18x. Obviously it can push up further than that. I hope it pushes up further than that. But
the people who win heavily are going to be the people who DCA these levels or get into the tokens that can do X's over the gas token like pTGC did last year. Or you could do both. You can literally bring fresh capital in, fiat in, stables in, and not only put it in the gas token, consider putting it in the tokens that are known for doing the X's over the gas token. From these levels, it's never been easier to do significant X's on pTGC from a 30 mil market cap. It's never been easier from a 30 mil market cap to do a significant amount of X's.
Hey, Zen.
Yeah, man.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chuck.
I was just going to step back one conversation, if we could, just to maybe point something out, on the affiliates program. Just as a reminder, the wallet that you use with an affiliate forever gets tied to that affiliate. So if you use a wallet to tip, for example, a new YouTuber, and then you want to switch that back to say Banana next time, it's not going to go to Banana. It's still going to go to that original person that you tied that wallet to, which is designed that way on purpose. Because obviously whoever gets you in should continue to get the revenue from all your new buys. But just keep that in mind. Whatever wallet you use, it will be tied to that original affiliate that you bought from for the life of that wallet.
I thought that you could clear cookies or whatever, and if you wanted to do something different.
Nope.
No, you cannot. It's stored on the pTGC code side.
So you have to clear cookies and switch wallets.
Right. The original wallet's still tied to that person forever. You can't change the wallet.
Yeah. You can't change the wallet. If you want to use a different affiliate link, you have to switch wallets and clear history and cookies and cash. It is very sticky.
So if a person clicks on a link, but they actually didn't connect to anything, do they actually have to connect?
Yes.
So they can search around, click on a bunch of different affiliate links, but it's not until they actually connect, correct? That it sticks?
Correct.
Connect and buy. Connect and buy.
Okay.
I thought it was just if they connect. But they actually have to transact, Zen?
I'm pretty sure they have to transact. I'll get that information just to verify. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Shaka's right there. They have to legitimately buy their first pTGC token, and when they make the purchase, the system then connects that wallet with the link that they used.
Okay.
And then it's at that point very difficult to get them unlinked. You have to literally use a different wallet and clear all the cash and everything.
Okay. I didn't even know you had to clear cash. That's good to know also. Has anyone on the stream used?
A lot of good information. It's going to be interesting to see where the markets go over the next 5 months or so.
Yeah.
I have a couple more questions. I'll ask later. It's are we 2 hours in? Are you guys ready to go?
I'm ready to call it if no one else has anything else.
Yeah, I'm good.
Shaka, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Well, let's just call it, guys. Let's get back to the fam, and I've got to go to hang out with my niece and nephew today, taking them to what is this what is the thing where they joust and everything in front of you and all this and that? I can't
Fencing?
remember what is. No, it's medieval times, the whole medieval times thing. We're doing that today, so.
Fun.
But yeah, good information on the site. Shaka, thanks so much for constantly adding to that site. It's really powerful for information for people to take a look at.
Yeah.
I think it's very much helping us through this tough time on Pulse Chain too, just giving us constant things to talk about and get excited about and on board with. So I wanted to say that to Shaka, that it's not easy to, definitely keep these spaces going and VCs going and YouTube videos. Like we are live 6 times a week sometimes 7 times a week between me and Banana. So me and Banana, I'll speak for Banana here, really appreciate you giving us these new things to just keep talking about and educating on. When there isn't a lot to talk about as far as Pulse Chain price and other RH token price. So thank you.
100%, man. Yeah.
Hey, before we go, just 2 seconds, Sam. What do you think that? What are you looking at in terms of ProveX right now? Because I think that looking at ProveX, it's I did a post the other day on it, and it's now at 4074, which is basically a 2x over the biggest sacrificer. So they're at this point, right, where if it goes any lower, they're getting close to breaking even, and it's a very difficult place to be if you're a guy who holds a lot of it, because it went up a lot, but a lot of these people took some profits. In terms of looking at the price for ProveX and potentially adding some more into the web, any thoughts on that?
I think it's a DCA range that is worth considering. I don't think it's that you just bap the truck to and create a fat LP, but I think it's a level that's worth throwing a little bit at and then seeing what happens. And it obviously can go lower. Like you said, there's a chance it goes lower than even some of the lowest sacrificers price. Look at
100%.
But if we do have the concern of just like wanting a little bit more, I do like the fact that it's below the level. It's pretty much at the level that you needed to at least get in with a decent chunk or in a pool. It's not like the people who got in just single, I think that's the 301 number or whatever. So I do like that. I like that it's kind of fallen below that level, that there is people at a loss. There's a bunch of people who bought higher than that level when it was pushed up higher. So I think it's a fair level now. And I think it's pretty close to a good like retracement zone too for the people who are charting it. To consider an LP add with it to just slightly increase ours, and then if it goes lower to new levels, like those are all places you can add as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to go lower. I just wanted your thoughts. I have a feeling we're going to see, because the volume is pretty much dried up. Volume's like 300,000. It's sitting right at that tipping point where anybody who's in profits is just basically on a double. And if we get any holder that breaks that resistance level, that's really the key, Zen, in my opinion, is if that resistance level breaks at 72, selling's going to begin selling because they don't want to lose the small amount of gains they have left in the chart. And I think that's the last gasp of looking at that chart from that vantage point. I think there's that last group of people that are right there on a decision. And if there's any larger red capitulation, it'll really get the rest of those people out of there.
100% could.
So, all right, guys, I'm out. You guys have a good day.
You too. See you, Mando. See you, Zen.
See you guys.
All right, that's it. So Super Snake, it looks like what we can do is you can go from, you got to do this in a 2-step process to go from base or ETH into USDC or PLS. And you can do that right. Let's see. I think you do that right here in this section under exchange. So you go from base USDC into USDC on Pulse Chain. So you can swap right here on Liberty Swap. And then what you'll do is you come over to Liberty X and you go from, I hope I have this correct. You go from USDC on Pulse Chain to pTGC. So yeah, that's the process. So that's cool that we can do that now. Liberty Swap is amazing. They're special. They're special. So that's a wrap, guys. Go enjoy your Saturday. Thanks for showing up. Thank you for liking and commenting and helping us get the word out about the Grays currencies, because these are two life-changing assets found only on Pulse Chain. See you later, guys.